I'm Krishna.
And I'm Shavik, and today we are here to talk about the newly released DC movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League. As we all know, Justice League also released in 2017, but that movie was a huge pile of mess. So after that, all the DC fans started protesting and revolting against Warner Brothers and asked them to release the Zack Snyder's cut, which was supposed to release in 2017, but for some reasons they didn't persevere with Zack Snyder, and they hired Joss Whedon, the director of Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, to finish the Justice League movie. So we have finally got the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and yeah.
So today we will be discussing about the positives and the lows of this movie, and at the end of the movie we will be rating the movie. And do share us your thoughts, and stay tuned till the end of the video.
Please like, share, and subscribe if you like the video. And if you have anything you want to say about the video, please put your comment in the comment box below. So we'll be breaking down the video into two sections. First, we'll talk about the non-spoiler review, and then me and Krishna will discuss about the spoiler talks of the movie. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, please go watch the movie and then come back to watch the whole video. And if you have watched, then please stay tuned to the whole video. So first, we'll talk about the non-spoiler review, and I like to start off with talking about the improvements. What improved here that was not present in the 2017 Justice League? For me, there are many aspects. In fact, all of the aspects were improved from the 2017 Justice League movie. First, I'm going to talk about the character development. Zack Snyder told in an interview before the cut that Cyborg is the heart of this movie, and damn, we saw why he was saying like that, because he really is the heart of this movie. I mean, you can relate to the character very well, which you couldn't in the 2017. In fact, you couldn't relate with any character in the 2017 movie. The relationship of Cyborg with his father, Silas Stone, was one of the major factor or highlights of this movie. So yeah, I loved Cyborg. Cyborg was the main character for me in this movie. Coming to the other characters, I think, as I told earlier, Silas Stone was very good as well. You get to know what's the deep relationship of Silas Stone with his son, why he didn't give so much affection before, but then you get to know that deep down he really loves his son. So we'll talk about more about Silas Stone in the spoiler section of the video. Next character I'm going to talk about is Superman. I mean, we all agree that Superman's CGI mustache was the worst thing possible in the 2017 Justice League movie. But here, of course, it's not the case. The CGI with Superman is perfectly fine. Next, I'm going to talk about is the villain development. I think another very major flaw of the 2017 Justice League movie was the character of Steppenwolf, the main villain.
Yes.
I mean, starting from his CGI to his motives, everything was lackluster. Everything was missing in the 2017 movie, which wasn't the case here. I mean, I loved Steppenwolf in this movie, and I'm sure almost all of you fans can feel for him, can feel for the character of Steppenwolf. You can understand why he's doing what he's doing. You can understand the motives behind his actions. He just wants to please his master. He just wants to return home, right? So yeah, and the CGI of Steppenwolf is so much better than the one we saw in the 2017 Justice League movie. So yeah, these two, I wanted to talk about these two. So you want to talk about anything?
Yes, I want to talk about the action scenes of this movie. So yes, the action scenes were quite extended in this movie and very well explained to the plot that why those action scenes are taking place, and especially the VFX of those action scenes was quite good, and it was quite interesting to see those battles, especially the battles of Steppenwolf with the Amazonians were quite good. And I will be talking about the soundtrack of this movie. Yes, the soundtracks were very good, very brilliant, and but basically I would like to point out on one soundtrack which was quite hated by the fans.
Yeah, I think
Shavik needs to agree.
I think all of you will agree with this point.
Yes.
So
we will be talking about that in the spoiler section, and we will be talking about the pacing of the movie. It kept you glued to the screens.
I mean, generally in a 3 or 4 hour long movie, people tend to get bored very easily, especially in the first hour when the story builds up a little slower than what you expect. So that was not the case here for me especially, and I think for Krishna also. So yeah, the pacing is very good here. You won't feel like it's a 4 hour long movie. The 4 hours will go by like that.
So fans who complain about the pacing of the movie, that there is no pacing, this is the most recommended.
Yeah, like in 2017 Justice League, the pacing was one of the biggest issues, because one scene transitions to the next scene very quickly in the
Yes.
2017 Justice League
Yes,
movie.
yes.
It will feel rushed. So it was not that case here. It didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel slow.
Mm.
It felt almost perfect. So yeah, I'm very happy, and I think you all will be also very happy and
Yes,
satisfied
yes,
with the
I-
pacing of the movie.
So we have completed the non-spoiler section of the movie. So hope you guys enjoyed it. So now we will be discussing the spoiler section of the movie. So guys who haven't watched this movie, please go back and then come back and then watch our video. And those who have watched this movie, please stay back and enjoy till the end. So now talking about the spoiler section of the movie, first I would like to discuss about the old god versus new gods fight. So what's your take on this?
Uh, actually, you have started it well. I also wanted to start with this point.
Yes.
The old gods versus new gods fight we also watched in the 2017 Justice League movie, but I wasn't really satisfied with that. I think the fight here is so much better than the one in the 2017 Justice League movie. So, as we all know, many thousands of years ago, Darkseid came to Earth to invade it and conquer it. But he faced a very strong opponent, a combined force of the Greek gods in Zeus, Artemis, and Ares. They were also with the Atlanteans, the Amazonians.
So we have seen here that Zeus is a very young,
Yeah.
young version of Zeus is played here, and we have seen Ares being played by a different actor this time.
Yeah.
And what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think I didn't like the actor who played the role of Ares in the Wonder Woman movie.
Yes.
I think his face didn't suit the character of Ares. Ares should be a kind of ruthless or merciless
Yes.
character, which I
Mhm.
didn't think his face portrayed that well enough. So yeah, I think Ares here the actor of Ares, the actor of Zeus, were perfectly suited to the characters.
Yes,
And
I agree
yeah,
totally.
so
Yes.
I also wanted to say that Darkseid and his Parademon army also faced a lantern, a Green Lantern, who's
Yes, which was a surprise totally.
yeah.
Yes.
We saw reference of the Green Lantern in the 2017 Justice League movie.
Yes.
We saw Ring, but we didn't see the live action Green Lantern
Yes,
there.
exactly.
So we have seen that in this movie, and I think it was portrayed very well because the Green Lantern we are talking about here is known as Yalan Gur. Yeah,
Yes.
Yalan Gur was one of the first Green Lanterns, and he lived 2000 years ago approximately. So yeah, he joined forces with the army of the Earth to fight
Yes.
against Darkseid. Another thing I wanted to mention was the fight between Zeus and Darkseid. It reminded me of a Wonder Woman issue, issue 37 to be precise, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yes.
So in there also Zeus fought with a younger version of Darkseid, who is also known as Uxas. Here also it was the younger version of Darkseid, who is also known as Uxas. So Uxas was before Darkseid got his Omega Sanction powers, which made him Darkseid. Darkseid's main power is his Omega Sanction, the beam which
Yes,
comes,
yes,
comes
exactly,
from his
yes.
eyes. So Uxas didn't have that. So Uxas here against the new old gods, he wasn't that powerful. He wasn't in Darkseid's level of powerful. So yeah, I think the fight portrayed that very well because if it was Darkseid in his full power, I don't think the forces could have defeated
Could
him.
have defeated him.
But
yes.
here we see that Darkseid is easily defeated by all the forces, the Atlanteans.
Exactly, we see in the animated movies, and there also we saw in a movie that basically Darkseid means destroyed Supergirl and Superman.
Yeah, you are talking about
Yes,
that movie,
yes.
Apocalypse. Movie.
Apocalypse
Yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
In the comics also, means Darkseid is one of the most powerful villains in the DC multiverse, not only in the universe, in the multiverse.
But in the world.
So we also saw that Darkseid brought 3 wizards with him. Uxas brought 3 wizards with him
Yes.
to unite the 3 mother boxes, which he
yes.
found in Earth. So, but that was a failure because the combined forces of the old gods defeated him
yes,
and drove him back to Apocalypse.
Yes. So basically, this mother box paved the way for Darkseid to come to Earth and invade it, but they have gradually failed there in the movie.
Actually, the mother boxes, when they unite,
Yes.
they form a synchronization.
Hmm.
And the synchronization, what do? They destroy the planet. Sometimes they destroy the world, or sometimes they can turn the planet into Apocalypse.
Yes.
So Darkseid wanted Steppenwolf to do that for him.
Hmm.
As we know, as I talked about Steppenwolf earlier, he just wants to please Darkseid, and he just wants to go home back to Apocalypse. But Darkseid doesn't allow that because apparently Steppenwolf betrayed Darkseid in some way that we don't know. How he betrayed, why he betrayed, we don't know that. but we know that he betrayed him, and Darkseid wants Steppenwolf to invade minimum 50,000 words for Darkseid. So we come to know about that, and we get a good description of what the villains want. Darkseid wants to control worlds, Darkseid wants to invade worlds, Darkseid wants to rule worlds, and for that he wants the mother boxes. And like Krishna mentioned to me about the anti-life equation, I didn't think that we would get to know about the anti-life
that
equation.
was a surprise to the fans, that anti-life
Yeah.
equation, because it's the most important part of Darkseid's.
Yeah, you
Yes.
all audiences who doesn't know much about the comic book stuff, but you know what Thanos wants, right? Thanos wanted Infinity Stones for himself. That was his ultimate ambition. Similarly, Darkseid has always wanted the anti-life equation for himself. So why does he want the anti-life equation? What is his purpose by getting the anti-life equation? Krishna can mention that.
So basically, in the movie, we saw that Steppenwolf was mentioning about the anti-life equation, that he has found it on Earth, and basically this anti-life equation, he told that this anti-life equation will help to control the beings on Earth. So
Not only on Earth, in fact, in the whole universe.
in the whole universe,
Yeah.
which was an important part, which basically the Darkseid will be able to control all the beings, which will be a total disastrous thing.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
future.
I want to emphasize more on this.
Yes.
Actually, anti-life equation basically is a mathematical formula which is used to take all will and freedom to live. So basically, what you do, Darkseid controls the anti-life equation, and he controls all life in the multiverse through that, by taking the will of others, by taking the freedom of others. So that is the biggest thing of Darkseid. His main objective of his life, to get the anti-life equation. Some comic storylines I can recommend you all to know more about the anti-life equation, because it's not possible for us to explain the origin
Yes,
and the history of the anti-life equation in such a descriptive way. But you can know more about the comics. One of the some comics I would recommend you is our Final Crisis, where Darkseid is also the same, trying to get the anti-life
you
equation.
will get the link in the description.
Yeah,
below.
we'll give all the comics which are referenced in the Justice League movie, or from which Justice League movie has taken inspiration from, in the description box below. So Final Crisis is one of them. Another one is Darkseid War, which happened in the New 52 to 2015. Yeah, 2015. So there, Anti-Monitor, another a very big villain of DC Multiverse alongside Darkseid. So Anti-Monitor got hold of the anti-life equation and fought against Darkseid there in Darkseid War. So reading these two comics, I think you guys will understand what the anti-life equation is all about. Next I want to mention is, you want to mention anything?
Yes, I want to mention about the sacrifice of Silas
Yeah.
Stone.
That's a very good point.
Yes,
actually.
yes.
I wanted to talk about it. Like I said in non-spoiler review, that we'll talk more about Silas Stone in the spoiler review. So yeah, Silas Stone was one of the most fascinating characters.
Yes, I
in this
like
movie.
the character. It means so much emotion was attached to that
Yeah,
character when he sacrificed so much, because the Victor Stone, he means basically he started hating his father too.
Yeah.
He started then loving him.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's the main point. We
Yes.
all start to hate Silas Stone at first because he doesn't give a lot of attention or affection to his
Yes.
son. We see that Victor is
Basically,
getting,
he used to avoid.
Victor is getting upset.
Yes.
He is getting depressed because
Ah.
of his relationship with his father.
Mhm.
So yeah, that is portrayed very well, and we see why Silas Stone is doing what he is doing, because he wants to know more about the alien scientific technology,
Yes.
which becomes helpful later on in the movie. But we also see that Silas Stone actually deeply loves his son and deeply cares for his
And
son.
he basically saved him.
Yeah,
Victor Stone. Basically,
Victor,
he didn't have anything to survive.
yeah,
So,
Victor and his mother,
Yes.
so Silas's wife, suffered an accident. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is actually one of the best moments of the movie. In fact, it was the best moment for me in the whole movie. Flash, Barry Allen actually saved everyone here. I didn't expect that, and he performed a very almost impossible feat in his first appearance. He actually went far beyond the speed of light, and he reversed time. I mean, I was amazed by that. I didn't think I
Yes,
would.
we have seen so much of Flash in the TV series,
Yeah.
where Grant Gustin has played the role of Flash. We have seen that basically he has got 7 seasons, but he didn't perform such kind of way. Maybe he could.
Yeah,
reverse-
he's actually very fast, Grant Gustin's Flash, but
Yes.
in his first appearance, Ezra Miller Flash actually
Yes.
outdid anything
In
Grant
one
Gustin Flash
movie
has
he
ever
has
done.
done this feat, but there he got 7 seasons, but he could not perform.
Yeah.
that feat, which
Also,
is-
most of the people I know in
Yes.
social media are saying that Flash, or are interpreting that Flash actually time traveled back to the past.
Hmm.
But that is not the case here. In fact, it's very very different. He didn't go back to the past here, but he actually reversed time. Means he actually manipulated time here.
Yes, we
Yeah.
see in comic books that
Yeah.
Eobard Thawne and Zoom is able to perform that feat, and maybe Wally is also
Yeah,
able
yeah.
to perform that feat,
Yeah.
as far as I can
Yeah.
remember.
So
but
actually, time manipulation is a much more difficult thing than normal time travel. Normal time travel is not a big deal for
Yes.
Barry Allen. He does that almost all the time. So I was amazed at that feat. Another thing I want to talk about is that the time reversal thing. He just got back to save everyone.
Hmm.
Otherwise, the whole planet was already doomed. The unification was complete of the mother boxes. So Flash basically saved everyone's assets there.
Yes.
So
I mean,
yeah,
for his
that's
first movie.
yeah, that's a very big moment of Flash, and that actually makes me very thrilled and excited to watch the upcoming Flash movie,
Yes.
which is I think which will be released in 2022 or 23. Right? Yeah, next thing I'm going to talk about are two very important cameos. So do you want to talk about them?
Yes, sure, Shavik. I would like to talk about the cameo scenes of Ryan Choi here. So, which surprised me because Ryan Choi, the guys who don't know about Ryan Choi, he went on to become the Atom after Ray Palmer, which
Yeah.
who was the main Atom.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Ryan Choi, you can see him in the Arrowverse
Yeah,
as one of the
Paragons in Crisis on
Yes.
Infinite Earths.
So if you guys haven't watched it, please do watch the Arrowverse,
Yeah.
and you will get to know more about him.
Yeah.
And we have seen the cameo of Martian Manhunter
Oh,
there,
yes.
because it was quite surprising to me because he was present in this universe, but
Yeah.
why they didn't show him till now was one of the
I
surprises.
mean, they did show him in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman as the general.
Yes, as the general,
but we didn't
yes.
really think that he's the Martian Manhunter. So he
Yes,
basically
so maybe-
disguised himself as the general all this time and just decided to show. So yeah, this was surprising to me as well. So two things are remaining which we want to talk about. One of them is the epilogue.
Yes.
So in the epilogue scene, we see that we start from Arkham Asylum,
Yes.
where Lex Luthor is being kept. We see that it's not actually Lex Luthor; it was someone
It was
else
someone
disguised
else, yes.
as Lex. So we learned that Lex Luthor has already escaped Arkham, and I'm guessing it's my theory that Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, helped him to escape Arkham Asylum. Because Deathstroke knows a lot about Arkham Asylum. I think he does.
And we have seen a change in the dialogues from
Yeah.
the 2017 Justice League, where the conversation showed that they were talking about the Legion of Doom
Yeah,
in the
about forming the Legion of
2017
Doom, yeah.
jail. But here we see quite a different conversation.
Yeah.
Here we have seen that they are talking about Bruce Wayne's identity
Yeah,
here
Batman.
as Batman.
Yeah.
So basically, we might be able to see
That
him
makes
as-
me actually sad because that actually is a plot, is the main plot of the Batman movie,
Yes.
which would have been directed by Ben Affleck. We could have seen live action Batman versus Deathstroke in that movie, but we didn't, and that's actually a sad thing that we didn't. Let's hope that in the future Warner Brothers again hire Ben Affleck to continue the
We
role
have
as Batman.
seen Deathstroke as in the Arrow series.
Yeah.
Which
Also in the Arkham Origins
yes,
games,
he was
yeah.
such a ruthless character.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
He was menacing and badass. Deathstroke is one of the most badass characters.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the epilogue. Now I'm gonna talk about something that has really confused all of you non-comic book fans who are watching this video. I'm sure of it. So basically, I'm going to talk about the nightmare scene at the end of the movie. We have seen a shorter version, not so much clearer version of nightmare in the Batman vs Superman movie, but here we see a very clear picture of what is happening in that possible future timeline. So what is happening is Batman has formed a team of himself, Cyborg, Deathstroke, Flash, Joker played by Jared Leto, which was also a big surprise to me that he's present in the movie, and lastly Mera. So
on Mera, I would like to reflect on the fact that Mera here is trying to take revenge for Arthur Curry's death.
Yeah.
So
We
have
saw
seen
that already in a scene,
We
yeah.
have seen that already in a
Darkseid
scene when Darkseid killed Arthur Curry,
Yeah.
and in that very scene we see Wonder Woman who is killed, and the Omega beams which you fans were
Yeah,
anticipating.
Darkseid's best weapon, Omega beams. Yeah.
Yes, so basically we will see that in jail 2, and
If-
this
if there is jail 2 made,
and
which we
this
are not
universe
sure.
is also indicating on the fact of Injustice universe.
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
Yes.
Actually, here Darkseid is. You guys must be thinking that how did Superman become evil? Superman is a very good character. He is the epitome of goodness, of hope. So what changed here in this timeline, in this possible future? Actually, the thing is, Darkseid got control of the anti-life equation after coming to Earth. I think this possible future could have been explained in Justice League 2 or 3 if we would have gotten the movies. So what happened is Darkseid came to Earth, got the anti-life equation, defeated almost everyone, killed Lois Lane. I think that was the deciding factor for Superman's transitioning into his dark path. So Darkseid basically controlled Superman, took control of him through the anti-life equation and made him evil. And Superman thinks that Batman is the reason why Lois Lane died, which is also a theory, but I think it's a correct theory. So yeah, that's the main thing. Darkseid got the hold of anti-life equation. That makes me very excited and also sad that we should get another Justice League movie. Another fascinating thing was Batman and Joker conversation at the end. That really gave me all kinds of nerdgasm because they were hinting at Jason Todd's death, basically the Robin's death. And actually in comics it was the second Robin, which was Jason Todd, who was Jason Todd. But I think here I have read somewhere that Zack Snyder's original plan was that Joker killed Dick Grayson, who is the first Robin, not Jason Todd. Jason Todd doesn't exist here in this universe. So yeah, that was very good. And also Batman told that Harley Quinn also died, and while dying, her last wish was that Batman should kill Joker slowly and giving him a lot of pain. So yeah, that conversation really intrigued me. Yeah, and basically that was the nightmare scene. So I think you guys have some clarification on why Superman became evil, and I think I could clear a bit of your confusion. I hope so. So next thing we are going to talk about is the weakness. Talking about the negative aspects of the movie. Krishna, do you want to start?
Yes, firstly I would like to mention about the CGI effects of this movie. I was quite disappointed with the CGI effect. Firstly, I had mentioned about Martian Manhunter. His CGI, I felt a little disappointed because he's already the main character of the Justice League.
One of
the main characters, yes. And secondly, I would like to means the fans were complaining about the Amazonian music.
Yeah.
So it was quite
That
terrible.
was very bad.
Means
Yeah, I mean, if you hear that one
for
time,
once,
it's
if
okay.
you hear it's okay, but
If whenever Wonder Woman was coming onto the screen, it was playing.
it was really
Angel
disappointing.
Lamentation
So
music.
I would like them to work on this.
And
too.
I really
so
hated that.
If you do you have any?
Yeah, as you said, I really hated that music,
Yes,
and
yes.
Wonder Woman's original theme is so much better than this. They should have used that. They should have stuck to that. So yeah, I want to talk about a few nitpickings of mine. One of them is of course the aspect ratio which Zack Snyder chose for this. He actually chose 4:3 ratio of aspect ratio because he wanted it to be portrayed on the IMAX screens. But we cannot see that because there is no release of Justice League in IMAX screen right now. So we have to adjust with that aspect ratio. We can't see that on full screen on in laptop or TV screen. So that's one of the minor nitpickings. Another minor nitpicking is that Martian Manhunter. He told Batman Bruce Wayne at the last scene that he now realizes his stake in the world. But why did it take so much time, man, for you to realize your stake in the world? Because there were already Zod. Zod came to the planet to almost destroy the planet. Doomsday. So these two are so much menacing villains. So I think Martian Manhunter should have disclosed himself earlier than this. But other than that, I don't have any major nitpickings. These were some minor nitpickings I had with the movie. Mostly, I think the movie is very good. Do you want to say about your final thoughts?
So my final thoughts I will be giving it a rating based. So I would like to give it a 8 out of 10.
Okay.
So what do you think?
Yeah, I had a hell of a time watching this movie. I think this was one of the best 4-hour movies. Actually, this was the only 4-hour movie I watched,
Yes.
and I really loved it. starting 1 hour was a bit slow, but you'd expect that from a 4-hour movie.
Yes.
So I really loved it, and I'll agree to what Krishna gave the rating. I also want to give this an 8 out of 10 rating. So yeah, guys, that's the whole review. That's the whole video of Snyder Cut's Justice League. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, liked the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment anything you want in the comment box. Whatever you have, whatever you think about the video.
And comment below the ratings.
Yeah, and I would also like you guys to give your rating for the movie out of 10, just like we gave. So yeah, we'll be making another video very shortly. So watch this space.